So one of the roles I do in the OpenStack Foundation is, oh, I get a clicker, thank you. I don't even know how to, I do evangelism, try to get the word out about OpenStack, and then also try to get resources into OpenStack. And so major way people are doing this is, so contributing to the OpenStack Foundation. How do you go about contributing to OpenStack Foundation? Donating code, I mean, I think that's the major contributor. People, documentation, patches, new proposals, blueprints. That's the major way people are going about it, and we give out these great medals for contributors in the community. But Packet approached me and they said, hey John, we want to give back to the OpenStack community. How can we go about doing it? And Packet is a bare metal service provider, so they provide hardware. They run at a data center for you and make it available. So the question was, well, how can Packet donate bare metal to OpenStack and make it useful? So we thought about it for a little bit. And one of the things in the OpenStack community, for those of you that aren't aware, there's a project called Zool. Zool is responsible for all the CI/CD. It's constantly running, testing, grabbing computing resources and going through all the patches that are committed into OpenStack. And so Zool goes through a lot of computing resources. And one of the things that it needs is you can donate computing power to run Zool. There's a team that will go through and compute and use that computing power. They have a couple of guidelines for the virtual machine images they require. So 8 gigs of memory, 8 vCPUs, public IP address, 80 gigabytes of storage. And then there's a little bit of fine print down here where they say they want a minimum of 100 instances. So you take that, multiply it by 100. We went through, that's about 10 physical machines that we got through set up on the Packet side. So physical machines. So, but then the problem is Zool consumes virtual machines. It talks OpenStack APIs, it spins up virtual machines, it talks storage through storage APIs and everything like that. And Packet, well, Packet is a bare metal service provider. They provide raw metal with operating system installed on it. So we got a little bit of an impedance mismatch. How can we get Packet, how can we go through and bridge the gap between bare metal and virtual machines? So that's where I approached Platform 9 and I said, hey, listen, we've got some bare metal hardware. Platform 9, you guys are a managed, you provide control plane on the OpenStack side. Can we all work together and build out this cloud? So that's where we got Platform 9 involved. So the key players on this, we have Zool, that's the end user of the computing power that we're putting together. Packet Hosts, which provided the bare metal service. Platform 9, which provide the control plane to go through and manage the OpenStack cloud and the OpenStack expertise. And then we got the infrastructure team within OpenStack. They're the ones that are then going and submitting the jobs into this cloud that we're running. And several other public OpenStack clouds provide resources as well. So we got Rackspace, we got VexHost. Is Mohammed still here from VexHost? I know, yes. So I know he provides resources into this environment as well. And then me overseeing it, I was the one actually, gluing it all together and putting this all together. So we go through, we put it together, get it up and running, and then we go through and we see all of the Jarrett check-ins as the OpenStack infra team goes through and makes their commits. So the first one is they set up the very first virtual machine, they spin it up on this new cloud. It's called the Packet Host US West 1. And that first image is basically a mirror where they mirror all of the images. So there's a local mirror of all of the virtual machine images, the different flavors, the different operating system images. So that is number one. So now I go and I check on the console. Congratulations, we now have one virtual machine running. So then they slowly increase it. These guys are very cautious. So they go through, upgrade it up to 10. So now we actually have production traffic going. They're running 10 virtual machines doing actual computing power through it. Bump it up to 95. So I told them, I said, hey, I give you a quota for 100. You guys, so they bumped it up to 95. They didn't want to quite hit the quota. So they hit 95. And then, whoops. And then bingo, they went and they bumped it up the rest of the way to 100. Since then, we've cranked it up a little bit further since then, but they got to that minimum of 100s that they were looking for. The best part is every morning I would get up, I'd take a look at my cell phone, pull up the Zool logs and find out, hey, are we listed on there? Are we listed on there on all the computing resources? And I think this was the most successful thing to see in the morning, to see Packet Host US West running along with all of these other cloud providers, our resources that we put together and donated to the OpenStack community up and running.